And let's go to the aforementioned game of the week right now. We have the Aspen Click at 8-4 versus the D-Boy Dominators the D-Boy Dominators at 8-4 versus the Aspen Click at 7-5. And I'll start off with the D-Boys, and they're looking to try to get that playoff bye if Juan slips up at all. D-Boy is already ahead in points, so if Juan has a poor week, D-Boys could slide into that second spot for a bye. Now, first off for the D-Boys is look for Tom Brady to have a huge day. Predicted to get 44 points, but against the 23rd rated Dolphins pass defense, I'm looking for 55 to 60 points. Brady is going to come off. He's going to be irritated about
especially against the crappy performance.
That's it. Right after his poor performance against the Saints, he's looking to prove some doubters wrong. Decent running back, Rashard Mendenhall against the Raiders' 17th ranked defense. Some tough matchups at the other two running back spots. Thomas Jones versus the 7th ranked Bills defense. Fred Jackson is getting the lion's shares of the carries now, but he's against the 2nd-ranked Jets defense right now. So Anquan Bolden needs to get Kurt Warner back. I could see Andre Johnson going crazy, though. He's facing the Jags and the 26th-ranked pass defense, and when Andre Johnson goes crazy, it's a 2-touchdown, 170-yard type day. So
he's Manson crazy.
It is Manson crazy. He's projected at 202. I don't see him getting there. I'm thinking this is somewhere in the 180 or so range for points. What you got with the Click?
Well, the Click have a lot of question marks. You guys, you got Aaron Rodgers against Baltimore, and that's not the first time I mentioned that game. Marcus Colston at Washington. We've talked about how good Washington's pass defense is, and it's on the road. You haven't lost any games, so that puts even more pressure on New Orleans. Marcus Colston is not the only wide receiver in that offense, so I'm not sure that he has a very good matchup. And Ray Rice at Green Bay. Green Bay has proven that they can play defense sometimes when they want to, and especially on Monday night. Expect them to be ready for the Ravens. You do have Adrian Peterson, which was a great pickup, and it makes you a contender.
Yes, it does.
It makes you a contender. Not only are you the highest scoring team in the league at 24-21, 7 points better than me, but you have Adrian Peterson, who's probably the best running back in the game.
Can win fantasy by himself.
Yes, he can. And so you're sitting at 7-5. Here's the deal: if you win, you're tied with D-Boy Dominators at 8-5. Obviously, though, you'll get the tiebreaker because you have way more points. That puts you up into, the 4 spot. If capital punishment somehow messes up, you can bump yourself all the way up to the 3rd spot. That's as high as you can get, but the 3 spot is achievable for you. So that's a big deal because it puts you in a different bracket, and if you win, you play the 2 seed instead of the 1. So just remember that.
Not sure if that's a good thing with the balls kind of stuff.
I agree. I don't want to face you. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I want to, I've really tried to think about where I want to position myself. Right. But in the end, I'm taking the Click.
Okay.
I'm taking the Click in the end. There's, you've scored 200 points or 150 points more than the D-Boy Dominators throughout the season, and I think that's that's an accurate assessment of your team. I think you have a really good team, and I think you're a favorite. You're one of the main contenders going to the playoffs.
I'm gonna have to agree and jump on the Click bandwagon as well. And luck has to turn at some point. You don't see many teams that lead the league in scoring and are 7-5 at this point. I think right now D-Boy struggles a little bit this week. Adrian Peterson has a big game. I personally, I think that the Click also is one of the favorites going into the playoffs. I'm going to make it 2 for 2, 2 out of 2, and also go with Aspen Click in the game of the week.
I didn't look at the statistics, but I would have to think that you lead the league in points against.
I would too.
You have to lead the league.
Let's go to stardom or sit-em this week, and I'm going to go ahead and give them my sit-em to begin. And my sit-em this week is going to be somebody I've already previewed a little bit. It's going to be Fred Jackson. Okay, Fred Jackson, good week last week, but he's still going to be splitting carries with Marshawn Lynch, and he's going against the Jets' 2nd-ranked rush defense. I think Fred Jackson, going into next year, could be a great 6th, 7th round pick. But as far as week 13 goes, I think this is going to have to be my sit-em for the week.
My sit-em of the week is going to be Santana Moss against the New Orleans Saints. We don't even, I guess Jason Campbell's still the quarterback up there. I'm not really sure. But Santana Moss, I mean, who are we kidding?
Right.
If the Redskins put up double digits, we're all surprised. Especially against the Saints defense, who leads the league in takeaways. And I don't see that being any different this week. Santana Moss is at home. But capital punishment, if you could find somebody else besides Santana Moss, I think you should try to find him.
My stardom this week is probably not going to make the old Tuscaloosa Balls too happy. I'm going to go with Larry Johnson against the Lions right now. I think he kind of solidifies his spot as the #1 back for the Bengals. The Bengals have a good team right now. They're one of the top teams in the AFC. Larry Johnson looked happy there last week. I think he, against a porous Lions defense, shows that he is the main guy in Cincinnati.
Yeah. I'm gonna not go with the too obvious one here. It's pretty easy to pick Adrian Peterson, so I'm not. I'm gonna pick another fairly obvious one, I guess, is Steven Jackson. Steven Jackson, sorry. It's just that.
Skinny limb.
Yeah, I know. Steven Jackson at Chicago. Chicago's not been the old Bears defense that we know and are so familiar with. And the only thing that the Rams have going for them is Steven Jackson. They're going to give him a lot of carries, especially early, trying to get that run game going. Outside against Chicago, I'm sure it'll be cold. I actually watched WGN last night. It's supposed to be snowing up there this week.
It's great.
So that's exactly right. So I'm going to take Steven Jackson as your start of the week.
Quick bonus, we're going to give you a quick SEC preview. Real quick, scores only. Alabama 24, Florida 23.
In the end, I have picked Alabama to win this game all year. And I've told my buddy this all year that I thought Alabama would win this game by more than one score. But for some reason, it's the Tim Tebow factor. In the end, I just don't know that anybody can take, it's Tim Tebow. He's Superman for a reason. I think Alabama holds on as long as they can, and I think Tim Tebow just wins it in the end. I take Florida 24, Alabama 20.
We hope you enjoy your fantasy weekend, your SEC championship weekend. We'll be back next week with a playoff edition.